Trad Davenport was the cause of this, though Thor was not completely without blame. He'd allowed her to get in this business. A week ago at the Davenport's house, after having dinner with Pickens and Mary Lou Davenport, something that never happened for any other sound player, but was a semi-regular occurrence for him, he'd met Trad on the front porch, coming as he was leaving. She technically didn't live at Greenwood, Mary Lou's ancestral mansion, anymore, but as much as she was there, she might as well have. After exchanging pleasantries, he'd mentioned in passing that he was having a small party for the team. Maybe their last New Year's together in Nashville, since Pickens was considering selling the team to someone in Massachusetts. She'd said, "You know, Sharon Orloff told you that one of the best ways to sell a house is to have a party and let people see it." It was true. Sharon was his teammate Mikhail's wife and a real estate agent. She'd sold him his house and had been diligently trying to help him unload it ever since John Toe had taken off 2 years ago. "This will do no good," he'd said. "It's just the team. None of them want the house." Trad had nodded. "Tell you what, there are a few bundles of new money in town. First hit record, first CMA award and all that. Why don't you let me see what I can do about sending maybe a half dozen people by your party?" Trad had been trying to break into country music as long as Thor had been in Nashville. Her stage name was Rita Mae Sanderson, something that sent Pickens into orbit every time he thought about it. Thor could have recited from memory what he'd come to think of as the Rita Mae rant. He'd heard it numerous times on the golf course, at the dinner table, on the sound plane, and once in a public restroom at the Ontario airport. "Rita Mae Sanderson, my ass. Who is that anyway? I'll tell you and won't even charge you for the information. It's nobody. Is she ashamed of the name I gave her? That name means something in Charleston, South Carolina, where my people are from, and it ought to mean something to my daughter. But does it? No. I could get behind this country music thing if she were serious, but she's not. She plays at it for a while, and then she goes on some kind of sabbatical like she is congratulating herself for doing a little work. There are no vacations, Thor, not for successful people." And on and on. Trad had been a backup singer in some videos and made a record the year before, but it hadn't done very well. Still, she'd been around enough that she knew people in the business, and he would take any help he could get off loading that house. "So should I ask these people to your party?" she'd asked. "They're just the kind who might be interested in a property like yours." He hadn't exactly loved the idea of people he didn't know at his party, but he wanted to be done with the Transformer people-eating house. "Do you think they'd come?" Trad had laughed that laugh that reminded him of soft rain in the summertime. "Darling boy, you really don't get it, do you? New money people want to meet famous people. Politicians, actors, pro athletes. They will bust a gut getting there. Have you drained and covered your pool?" "No." "Do that. And order some outdoor heaters if you haven't. The night might be mild, and if anyone is interested, they will want to see the grounds. I wouldn't be surprised if you sold the house that very night." He liked the sound of that. He'd sincerely thanked her, though it wouldn't have occurred to either of them for him to invite her. Single sound players were not allowed to fraternize with Trad unless her parents were present, and Thor was no exception. He wouldn't have been speaking to her then if he had not run into her on her own porch. "Call your caterer and increase your food and liquor order by 20. "You said a half a dozen." She nodded. "They might bring dates, and I'd like a little leeway in case I think of someone else. Besides, you want to have plenty of food." He did. He had never gotten around to following her directive to cover the pool and rent heaters. If people wanted to walk around outside, they would just need to put on a jacket. But he had increased the food and liquor order. Maybe he would check on the food and drinks now. At least it was something productive to do. Before leaving the kitchen, he noted that someone was sending the $500 margarita maker that John Toe had insisted they had to have on its virgin voyage. He was not a margarita drinker. He swam through the sea of dancing people in the reception hall, past the live band that he hadn't known was coming. If they expected to be paid, they were going to be severely disappointed, unless Trad intended to do it. Finally, he made it to what John Toe had called the banquet room, which was really just an